Hey viewers, welcome to another game of Casual Pro Gamer. Today we're doing, come on, I don't know what he's playing. We're doing LittleCatz's and he's over here, he's playing Neith. So this is the currently highest ranked player in Smite and we are going to follow him around. So this is just a pre-made match. As you can see, it is Team WI versus Team SK. They don't all have the clan tags on them, but this is fully pre-made. And we do have a disconnect for the moment. So, yeah, this should be a good match because, well, these are two relatively high teams. And as I said, highest level player currently. That really doesn't mean that much because most of the high level players don't really care about their ranking. But yeah, he is doing quite well on the new ladder since they got reset. And yeah, well, we're just going to follow him around. So basically had to choice between all kinds of Freya games or then this game. I actually wanted to do a newer champion. So Freya, of course, we've seen plenty of times. We haven't seen a high level Neith yet. We also haven't seen a high level Apollo yet. Unfortunately, well, he did have a very nice Apollo game, but it was not recorded. Well, purely from the stats, I would say that it was a pretty nice game. And yeah, seeing how that we're going to see how this will turn out. So anyway, doing some damage here to, of course, the small minions first, because they are kind of in the way of that bigger one, and then finally taking out that big one. And there goes the small one. But yeah, you always take out one of the small ones because they kind of get in the way of the big one. And yeah, kind of. If you don't have to, you obviously wouldn't. But well, it's just the way it is. So we are here against Cupid, or with Bacchus, against Cupid and Hades, I want to say. Yeah, it is Hades. So I'm going to follow him around, so I'm not going to, I was kind of waiting to do something here with the camera, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to follow what he sees. And, well, as you can see, they're playing kind of safe for now. Kind of staying behind the minions, making sure that the skill shots don't actually land. And, of course, that goes for both of them. So a little bit of skills going off, just to pick up those minions a little bit quicker, as well as... well, heal up a little, but he wasn't really damaged, so... Well, just picking up the minions a little bit quicker is always a good thing. Cupid does have all of his stacks up, obviously, because, well, with 10 stacks, so after 10 basic attacks, he gets a stun on his Q as well as on his ultimate. Instead of just, well, nothing on his Q, just damage. And on his ultimate he normally gets a Mesmerize, which is not nearly as useful as a stun, because, well, a Mesmerize will actually only last until you get hit. And as you can see, Cupid doing quite a bit of damage with his hard bombs. Just one bomb off on both of them separately, of course, because they do make sure that they don't damage each other. But yeah, he does quite a bit of damage with that. And yeah, a nice jump. If you can, obviously you want to use the backflip to avoid getting hit by that bomb. And that's exactly what you did here. It's not that hard to do. You just have to know what the animation looks like. And obviously, well, Cupid is going to do it, well, at the moment that he's really, that you're running in a straight line and he has a pretty clear line of sight to you. So right now, and he didn't shoot it there. At least I think he didn't shoot it, but it was yeah, it was the opportunity, so I can totally see why he thought that was the shot, because I would have jumped there as well, so I can understand what he thought there. Yeah, Cupid getting out of there with his dash and going to go back and, well, come back in behind his minions. Obviously staying safe behind those minions, and as you can see, not a whole lot of skills being used for now. Obviously the Cupid is just using his hard bomb and, well, the escape when he needs to. The same goes for Freya. She uses her stun when she can actually land some damage, but that hasn't happened yet. Well, except for that one minion wave. And going to use the backflip whenever, whenever that's needed. But the backflip costs quite a bit of mana, so you definitely don't want to spend that too much. And she doesn't have any mana potions left, so kind of has to watch out for that. By the way, the starting build is kind of, kind of different from what we normally see. Normally we see high sustain builds in these lanes. So yeah, both of them going for the same build though. So I guess the meta has just changed into this. And here we go, going to land a shot. That should be an easy shot. Come on. She didn't land it? What? Why wouldn't she land that? I really don't understand how that didn't land. Maybe she lost sight of him, because we obviously can't see what she sees. We see everyone. But I kind of assume she would have been able to shoot that. And that would have definitely resulted in a kill, so... yeah, I don't know. Yeah, well, plus she does have her ultimate up. You can see that from the top left. Well, if the... hang on, that's... oh, I forgot in this game. Space, yeah. If this little... well, whatever it's called, is up, the little diamond shape, I guess. If that's colored, then your ultimate is up, and if it's dark, like here on Agni, it's not up. So, yeah, there's that. Yeah, one of my cats just came in. Kind of tired of her doing that. But yeah, there's not a whole lot I could do about it in this case. Anyhow, yeah, we're just going to harass wherever we can. Obviously, still hitting the minions, well, with quite a lot of basic attacks, because in this game it is not just about those, those last hits. It is more about pushing the lane, and well, that's exactly what they're doing. She's going to once again attempt an arrow here, but once again didn't shoot it. So yeah, the team did pick up 2 kills there, so that's why. But yeah, well, both of our laners out of the lane, both of the enemy laners out of the lane, and they went to blue buff, which is obviously what we're assuming they are doing, because, well, blue buff is kind of the only thing that is worth it. And we are going to do our cooldown buff, and the cooldown buff is not nearly as valuable in the beginning as the blue buff, because blue buff is really way better. But yeah, well, you have to pick up something to compensate for the amount of gold they get. So yeah, there's that. Anyhow, we're going to push this with some skills I kind of assumed, and going to pick up some of the gold at least. Well, definitely not all of it, but at least something there. And we currently are at 3100 gold, and Cupid is currently at 3000 gold, almost 3100, so it's equal. And yeah, the levels are also pretty equal, I think. 8-7 versus 8-8. So the enemy team just a little bit ahead in levels. Well, the Bacchus is kind of behind, I guess. But he was out of the lane for a little bit there to do some stuff, and that is when Hades kind of, well, gained the advantage. It's not a big deal, of course. The one level advantage is only a big deal from level 4 to 5. For the rest, it really doesn't matter that much. Yeah, as long as it's not too long. I mean, you do want your levels to be as high as possible, obviously. But yeah, well, 4 to 5, of course, with or without an ultimate is going to make a big difference. And here, that is not so much the case. Again, did he shoot? Yeah, he did shoot this time. And are we going to pick up an assist with that? No, it seems that the enemy team is dominating in that fight. Well, seeing from the health bars. They are, however, not dead yet, so yeah, there's that. It is 3-1 in the score. Not a big deal. Going to try to stay as safe as possible. And yeah, the Hades ultimate is not going to do anything because she can just backflip out of it. And he is going to do a little bit of damage here with just some basic attacks and some skills. But really not a big deal. About 150 health away from those attacks. That is not a big deal, obviously. 150 health, yeah, that's not a big deal at this point. She does have plenty of health still left. I wish I could just see the numbers, but unfortunately that is not implemented yet. I would like that implemented ASAP. We'll see, we'll see. They are doing a great job of just building onto their game, just making new things happen. Not just making new champions, although they are making some new champions because, well, the game needs it. The game needs a few more champions, but for now, well, they're doing a good job in making new maps, making new game modes, also updating their character models and their art in general, their map art, things like that. So all in all, yeah, it is becoming a very good game, and yeah, I can't believe that this game is better in beta, or looks better and plays better in beta than most of these types of games do in, years after the release. And not just because of the balance, but just because, well, it is a very smooth game if you play it, and, well, you do need a pretty decent graphics card for it. That is true. That has been a complaint from many people, because the game is kind of heavy on your graphics card, and you definitely want to have a decent graphics card, because otherwise you get very low frame rates, and that is not good. Just like I get now, obviously, because, well, I am recording, and as I said, it is a graphics heavy game, so recording and playing the game while not playing, but, well, seeing the game at the same time kind of takes it out of my graphics card, and that is sucky, but that is the way it is. But yeah, we did get the cooldown buff there. I'm probably going to leave, no, actually taking the movement speed buff as well. The movement speed buff really not that useful on her. I would have definitely given that to the I want to say Gragas, but that's not his name. The Bacchus, because Bacchus is very useful with that and can definitely do some great things with that. By the way, the ultimate from Cupid makes it impossible to jump away. So yeah, we will see if that comes into play here at any point. Because they can definitely combine those two ultimates, especially after she uses her backflip. But if you combine those two ultimates, then you can do some pretty heavy damage, probably kill her straight off. But yeah, that hasn't happened yet. Haven't seen the Cupid ultimate yet, so maybe it's just saving that up for something else. Although, well, normally we see that used in every possible occasion. And yeah, not so much right now. So we are here still 0-0-0, and we have 4,500 gold, which is almost the lowest in the team. It is, however, about halfway up the enemy ladder. It is the same as Cupid, but, well, 2 guys on the enemy team have more, 3 guys on our team have more, and yeah, so our team is a little bit ahead. And yeah, it's 6,500 on both of the mid laners. Both of them still 0 kills, and yeah, that is all from just farming those minions. And of course, if you are the only one that's around on the minions, you're going to get more gold. Because it's not like in League of Legends or in Dota. Yeah, in Dota that's as well. Where if you last hit the minions, you get all the gold. No, everyone shares in the gold. Everyone that's around And if you get the last hit as a team on the minion, you get more gold out of it than if you don't get the last hit. But even if you don't last hit any of the minions, you are still going to, well, get all the gold. Or no, get a lot of the gold. I think it's something like 60%, that, or 2/3, something like that. Maybe it's even, well, I don't know. It seems to be about 2/3 that you still get. And yeah, 2/3 of the gold for not doing anything, just being there, is pretty useful, obviously. But it's also kind of one of the things that they wanted to make completely different in this game compared to other games. This game is not supposed to be a farm game. It still turns out that most of the early game is spent in lane farming, because, well, the gold doesn't ramp up enough in the early game, and you do have to wait for your items. So if they would change that, if they would give everyone a few thousand gold in the beginning instead of a few hundred, that would totally make for what they kind of were expecting out of this, or were building this into. But currently, yeah, the first 15 to 20 minutes, well, I guess 15 minutes, are still always farming, and nobody's really roaming in that early game, because you need to get like 5,000 gold at minimum to get your items together to start team fighting. Because if you do it under that, so if you do it before you have that 5,000 gold on everyone, then yeah, you're just going to be well, behind, I guess. You're not going to be able to fight that much, and the guys that are staying in the lane to farm, even though you may pick up a few kills, but the guys that are staying back to farm, so the enemy team in that case, they will get the advantage out of that, and they will win in the end. Which is exactly what they didn't want, but, well, there's that. Anyhow, Hel coming up to help, and is she... No, she's not going to join. So yeah, we haven't seen an assist yet with the ultimate. We haven't seen anything yet, kill-wise, because even though she tried to ult like 4 times, 5 times already, she only used it once and didn't get an assist out of that. So yeah, now we're finally able to push the lane, and as you can see, our enemies are actually in another lane. Well, Cupid is back now, but yeah, you can totally see that yeah, this is the moment where people start grouping up. It's about 5,500 gold on well, 5,600 versus 5,800 on both of the AD carries. If I want to pick League of Legends reference, but yeah, it's basically physical carries, physical ranged carries. Yeah, both of them have that gold available now to actually afford their items, and Neith is, well, just building some armor penetration, which is physical resist reduction, I guess. I don't know what they called it. It's actually physical penetration, I think. Hang on. No, it's not finished yet. This one's critical strike. Physical penetration. Yeah, there you go. So physical penetration is kind of, yeah, the armor debuff, or the armor penetration in League of Legends. Obviously, you have that for Magic as well. And all in all, it's pretty good. So if you use it wisely, then you can definitely get some nice items going with, while still having a decent amount of, well, armor reduction, physical penetration. And yeah, that's why we see those early executioners on people. That's the big axe. It's this one. So level 2 and level 3, she completed it. Cupid has not completed it yet. But yeah, as you can see, the physical protection gets reduced by 7%, and plus plus 5 points for maximum 3 times, which is a huge deal if you can hit someone a few times. And yeah, that definitely works really well. And because it's a reduction and not a penetration, your allies can actually use that as well. So if you reduce the army on someone, the armor on someone, then someone else can use that reduced armor to do extra damage. And are we going to be able to snipe anyone? He did shoot it, right? Yeah. I don't have the sound on, so I can't really hear whether he hit anything or shot rather. And yeah, normally we can see it from the animation, but it doesn't really display the animation that you normally see when you play her. So, oh, so close, but no, not enough balls. Didn't dare to tower dive that, even though that was still pretty safe. She was full health, so really nothing was going to happen there. And we are just going to back off instead. The red buff not up. And going to run to what appears to be the Gold Fury. Are they really going to do that right now? Yep, they are going to do that right now. The enemy team obviously coming in, and they are going to get a little bit of yeah, they're going to be killed or damaged just a little bit. It is not a big deal though. So yeah, just falling back now with that money. They actually got a little bit ahead, I think. The blue team, yeah, they are currently 3k gold ahead. So it is between the mid laners and the Gold Fury that they just picked up. They kind of made a little bit of a difference, and of course, well, we are also a little bit ahead of the Cupid because Cupid hasn't been in lane for the entire game. And well, Neith kind of has. Neith just staying in lane all game, picking up all of these minions, even though Bacchus wasn't there. And Bacchus, of course, not getting that much gold out of that because of that, because they stacked all of the gold on Neith. It makes Bacchus able to do other things, which is great, but it also means that you're going to be, well, kind of a little bit behind on your assist, well, on your support, I guess. So in this case, Bacchus being a little bit behind on Hades. Hades level 14 though, and Bacchus also level 14. But, well, that may be because Hades just got killed or something like that. I don't know. No, he didn't get killed. But he may have been pushed out of the lane a couple of times, make him unable to do anything well in the lane anymore. And as you can see, we now have 3 guys in this lane. Bacchus is still here, so it's 3 versus 2. And well, with clear vision, this is not a problem. The 3 versus 2 should still work out for Neith, because the moment they try to engage on her, she's going to backflip and be very safe. And by that time, she can just walk out of it because she does have level 3 boots, and that should be good enough to actually get out. And she does have a stun, she does have life steal. So all in all, that should be good enough to just, well, safely get out of that. Cupid is going to try to do some damage, but not really managing to hit anything. And Neith is getting dangerously low on mana. She needs to keep some mana up in order to, well, just have that escape available to her. And we are going to use the Girdle of Might to take down this tower, and really just face tanking the tower there for a little bit. It should be okay. She does have to go back anyway, and she's going to pick up this last minion wave and then probably going to go back. Although maybe she's going for the tower first. No. There was with Bacchus recalling, she's going to recall as well. And yeah, both of the enemies, however, are going to push this pretty heavily They're going to take out this minion wave and push on the tower. So she has to wait until someone takes over this lane. And that is going to be Bacchus. So she can recall right now. Also, she can just wait, which is not as good. But, well, I guess it does give her a few more minions. Bacchus just going straight on in there. Hell is coming from the side. And this might actually be very good. No, they're not going to make it work. Well, maybe. It still could work. But no. Not even close. Yeah, it does work out because they are so uber fed. And they are going to pick up both of them. And of course, yeah, well, it was a 4 versus 3. Or 2. 4 versus 2 at best, I think. Yeah. And then Anhur came in afterwards. Anhur is pretty fed. You do need to take care of that. Or, well, look out for that. And fortunately he does not have a stack item. But yeah, he died 3 times already, so I guess he didn't want to have a stack item. Because that would have sucked. If you get killed this much. Well, he has some pretty nice items on her, I have to say that. A nice lifesteal / attack speed aura. And of course the lots of armor penetration, and yeah, just in general some really good good stats on him. And of course, well, we see the same thing on Hell. Hell is really just a little bit tankier, really not as offensive, but some really nice items at that. Obviously she is kind of a support champion. So she does want to stay safe as much as possible, but she can farm quite heavily, which means that things like Warlock Sash are really good on her, and definitely, yeah, definitely can make that work pretty nicely. And Neith is going to just push this once again. I'm going to guess here that she is going for this tower, because she knows that the whole enemy team is, well, elsewhere. And they are going to pick up that Gold Fury. And this might actually be a very easy tower kill. Cupid is coming up with his sprint, but he's not going to be able to do this. He is not going to be able to do this at all. And no backflip available for now. And there you saw the stun. The stun is pretty good on that ultimate. Or mesmerize. I think this was a mesmerize. So I'm going to try to snipe that kill. But not managing to do so. Still only 1, 0, and 3. And Cupid now. Cupid is 0 and 1. 0, 1, 0. Really hasn't made a dent in this game at all. Didn't do anything yet that that made his team think that, well, he could be valuable in the late game. But he is going to be really valuable in the late game. But yeah, well, we'll see how he does. Obviously, for now, we're doing pretty well. We are currently about 5k gold, 4k gold ahead, I guess. Yeah, 4.5. Let's put it at 4.5. Which is a pretty big deal. It's enough to kind of, well, worry about it as the enemy team. It's about a 10% gold lead. And that is exactly the number when you should be worried. I mean, at like 5%, it doesn't really matter. At 10%, it becomes dangerous. You definitely don't want to be further behind than 10%. But yeah, 10% is already going to be pretty significant in this mid game. Obviously, in the very late game, it really doesn't matter anymore. And in the early game, yeah, 10% doesn't really mean a whole lot, because you're not going to have a whole lot of gold on your team. But here, it actually makes the difference. Because on the team, well, there will be one more big item, or well, actually 2 more big items, because most of the items cost about 22 to 2500 gold. So you can actually have 2 more items on your team fully upgraded, and that is a pretty big deal. Obviously, it all depends on who has the gold. In this case, most of the gold is on the Hell, and Hell is not, well, that useful damage-wise, but she is going to make a big difference in the team fight. And because of that, because she is such a big difference in those team fight, it is pretty useful to have an extra item on her. That's, however, not the biggest difference, because, well, they actually didn't make a big difference out of that. It is the... hang on. Well, our lane, I guess, that is about 1,000 gold up. And that 1,000 gold, or, well, almost 2,000 gold, that is going to make a difference. And there may actually be one more. Well, actually, both of the supports are way better fed than the enemy supports. Yeah, that's not going to make too much of a difference, I'm assuming. But, well, we'll see. It does make a difference on, well, whether or not you die in a team fight. But, well, most of the time you kind of accept the losses. They can still do pretty well. And, yeah, well, someone like Ymir, if he doesn't die in a team fight, he is going to be very annoying with all of those CC effects. And, yeah, if he can get farmed, which he isn't currently, but if he can get farmed, that's just really good. And are we going to get this? No! Well, the stun goes off the second time, and we might actually still pick that up. Yep, there we go. Picking up the kill on her going down, and we are going for Fire Giant here. At least that's what I'm assuming. They do have a ward up, so yeah, it's their ward. And we are going to Fire Giant, because with on her down, the enemy team is missing almost 14k gold. So you can see how important that is. Yeah, to have the focus of your team on that most important champion in, well, the enemy team. And look at that damage going down. So much AoE damage. The Ymir ultimate doesn't hit anyone, by the way. And if the stun goes off on Cupid... No stun available, apparently. If the stun goes off on Cupid, he was going to be dead. But, well, it doesn't matter. They're going to kill everyone anyway. Only Cupid's still up. And Anahur is coming back only in 30 seconds. So, yeah, respawn time's really long now. And long enough to actually do the Fire Giant, no problem. And there you go. Picking that up. Should be okay to push now. Left lane should really be pushed. There are 2 free towers to get there. And in the mid lane here, there's another free tower to get. And we are going on this a little bit of backing off there. Because, well, if someone shouldn't tank the towers, it's, well, a ranged physical damage champion. That definitely shouldn't work. Anyway, the Phoenix is going to go down because, well, against 5 guys, what are you going to do? It's 5 versus 3. And they are going to pick that off pretty easily. Yeah, again, the right Phoenix is under attack. Well, the left Phoenix, I guess, is under attack. For us, it's the right one. And they are going to get the kill on that. So they can now just take the left lane and and push from there, or they can just straight up win, but that would be a little more risky. It's not super risky when you're this far ahead. But yeah, 9k gold between them now. It is not going to be super close, but hey, we saw a nice Neith game, so I can't really complain about anything. But we're still going to see some kills, I'm sure. Sure, there's still a team fight left, but it's 12-3. They only have 3 kills, and yeah, that kind of shows you how powerful it is to have, well, good early game. Because left lane had a very good early game, and right lane, well, didn't really have an aggressive early game. So our lane didn't have an aggressive early lane at all, well, against them. Because Cupid and Hades did nothing to stop them from farming. And, well, that was because they really couldn't. And, yeah, well, we'll see if it's going to make a difference. Because, well, Yeah, obviously the mid lane did farm, so he is now 2 and 4 though. So he was quite behind, but yeah, you can also see that those fire giants and gold furies and such are really stacking up to a big amount of gold. Once again picking up this buff. Just has a very nice way of picking up those buffs. First doing the AoE damage from the backflip, and then because there's a wall behind her, she still is pretty close, and then she's going to just pick off the minions one by one. Well, first with the stun, all 3 of them, and then picking off the minions one by one. Very nice way to do it, and we're going to get a tower here. But yeah, it's a very quick way to do it as well. It's probably the quickest way to do it because all of your AoE damage lands on all of the minions. And that is exactly what you would want out of that. A little bit of tanking there for Bacchus. He is super duper tanky. Even though he doesn't have that much gold. But it is still plenty. We are going to backflip out of this and come back to get the kill. Well, not actually get the kill, but well, we got that kill. We got the kill on Ymir. And now it is over. All 3 phoenixes are down, which means that the Minotaur gets reduced health and it falls immediately. So we end up 407 with 14.5k gold versus the Cupid, who is 020 with 10k gold. So yeah, it definitely made a big difference whether or not they went aggressive, but yeah, you could see how passively they played in that early game. Both teams, I should say. But both teams too afraid of engaging in that fight. No ganking going on because there is no jungler in this game. The jungle is really not available for jungler because there isn't enough to do. Plus you have to cross through the middle lane and you always get spotted because of the way the viewpoint works. So people will know in which part of the jungle you are and the other part will just push harder. Yeah, well, that makes that there is no jungle available, and yeah, because there is no jungler, kind of makes it harder to gank anyone and to be aggressive in that early game. Although we do see some of the mid lane champions really ganking, making aggressive plays and getting a lot of things done with that. So here you can see all of the stats, including gold per minute and such, and you can see that, well, they did pretty well. But most of the gold came from, or on this team, a lot of the gold, especially the gold per minute, came from the Fire Giant and Gold Fury, so it really doesn't mean anything. They should split that in, well, lane and, so lane in gold and gold from global objectives such as towers and Gold Fury and Fire Giants. That was the one. Anyway, hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time. GG!